It brings a tear to my eyes.
What have I done? Boy! It actually came out pretty good. I did this last night at the warehouse. I didn't film any of it just because I wanted to get it done. And it's just tedious sanding, so there's really not much to see. There was a dent right here that has been filled. There was a deep scratch along here that has been filled. So the mission today is to primer all of this. Get this whole door, fender, hood, bumper, and driver's side door primered. That'll be it for today. We gotta go to the shop. I gotta get a few things before we go to the shop, so let's go. So the first thing I need is some more vape juice. Now Monster. I want to switch it up today with the red one instead of the green one. One more place that I have to go, and that's to Aubuchon's, which is a hardware store near the shop. I'm still in my town, but need to get paint stuff like the painter's plastic and some rolls of the sheets and paper and stuff to tape the car up. So let's go there now. I tried putting it onto, the ground of our shop and then driving onto it, but it wouldn't, there was air inside it and it was too close to my exhaust and it would have just stuck to my exhaust and burned off. So I just drove in. I'm gonna put it onto, the Jeep and the Del Sol and get things like that covered so that I don't get primer on them. Today I'm just primering this. Tomorrow will be a separate video, but I'm going to be actually putting the base coat and the clear coat down on this. Hopefully, the only thing that I'm riding on is our compressor working properly, because we tried it last night and it was leaking. So if it's still leaking tomorrow, I'm still going to send it, but it might just be a little bit more of a hassle to work with because I'll have to, shoot paint a few times and then wait for it to fill back up, shoot paint again, wait for it to fill back up. I know this isn't gonna be, a professional paint job. I'm trying to make it as good as I can, but the fact of the matter is I'm in a dusty ass shop and I've never done this before. This is the first time I've actually attempted to paint a car properly. So yeah, I own this thing. So it's like, I'm going from trying to ruin this to trying to make this clean. And yeah, so I'm gonna set painter's plastic up on the Del Sol and the Jeep and stuff like that, get all that situated, and then wipe the whole entire car down with acetone and get all the dust and stuff off of this, and then tape it up and shoot some primer, and hopefully things go okay. When I was here last night, we actually did a little bit of work to this as well. We got a roll pin into the shift linkage, so it shifts a lot smoother now. Just have to tighten up where it meets inside, and then it won't wiggle around anymore, and that'll be all set. Installed the intake manifold, and we tried to bleed the clutch, but the crush washers that go to the clutch were leaking, so we need new crush washers. Okay, so for the past 45 minutes, I've been taping up this car. It's like 99% done. I still have to cover up this wheel and a couple tiny little areas here and there. But yep, this is what it looks like right now. This door's all set, completely covered and ready to go. Bumper's good, taped up the lip. Hood's good. I just have to do the little washer fluid things. I'm gonna leave the grill in the middle untaped because it's gonna be easier to repaint the grill black than it would be to cover up that trapezoidal area, I guess. I know this is not gonna be like an insanely professional job. I'm trying to, take my time with it. Prep is key, and for the first time me ever painting a car, somewhat professionally, I wouldn't say this is professional at all again, but I'd say it's coming along fairly decent. I just remembered though, you're supposed to start with 180 grit and sand that down, and then use 320, I believe, 320 grit, and then sand over that. And last night I did 180, and then I accidentally did 600. So I don't know if that's gonna make a huge difference with the primer. The surface is buttery smooth. So I think once it's wiped down with acetone and the surface is clean, the primer will stick fine, but this will just be an experiment, I guess, to see if the primer will adhere to 600 just as well as it would adhere to 320. So this is the brand primer that I got, Automotive Touch Up. Their website seemed pretty professional, and they were able to color match my car fairly easily, and this is a fairly hard color to come by nowadays. So I picked up their Automotive Touch Up sandable primer. I only got 3 cans because the stuff was kind of like expensive. It was like $12 or so. But in here they gave me a bunch of mixing sticks, the measuring cups. In these boxes is my base coat and clear coat, but I don't want to open those yet because those aren't until tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna do what I keep saying I'm gonna do now so that you guys aren't fucking waiting anymore. So I think I'm going to start my way from the top down. That way, you know, if I were to do the bumper and I have to reach the top, I don't hit the bumper with my leg and, you know, mess up the primer. So I'm going to start from the top of the hood, work my way down to the bottom. And this is just the first coat, so it's going to be light. But yeah, let's fuck it. Let's give it a shot, you know? Let's call that a first coat. Okay guys, so I got one whole, you know, first coat down. I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna go over it again with a heavier coat and then another heavier coat. Just from doing one first coat over the whole car, I'm already almost out of this can. So I'm hoping that with these 2 cans, I can do the rest of the car and not have to use the extra can that I bought at Abishon's because it's by Rust-Oleum. I have nothing, you know, against Rust-Oleum. It's decent paint, but this stuff just works so damn well. If I had known that it was gonna spray this well, I probably could have painted my entire car with just, you know, spray cans instead of buying, you know, base coat in a bottle, in a can. Yeah, this stuff is coming out great. So far I rate it 10 out of 10. I was worried that, you know, sometimes with these cans and stuff, they, you know, sputter and spit when you shoot. But I haven't noticed a single, you know, drip of anything from these cans yet, and that's an awesome sign. So I think that this primer is going to come out really good. I noticed that right there. I need to lift that up and get it under that, but unless I did, no, I got to get under there. But yeah, this stuff is coming out, you know, awesome. Alright, well, I used up all 3 cans of the Automotive Touch Up paint. The primer lays down really well, but I ran out of it early, and I still need to go over it maybe, you know, one more time. The bumper still needs a full-on coat, so I'm gonna have to use this for the bumper. I didn't want to have to, you know, use this on all 4. I wanted to waste the rest of the primer on the other 3 and make sure that those only have that kind of primer on it, and then I'll do, you know, the different primer with one other part of the car. That way it doesn't make all the panels look different, if that be the case. I don't know if that's going to make a big difference, if it'll make a difference at all. But I just wanted to be sure. Alright, update time. So all the cans of primer have been used. The entire car, in terms of the parts that needed to be painted, are primed. The whole front bumper is mostly the Rust-Oleum primer, so that's okay. And I was actually impressed. The Rust-Oleum primer came out, you know, decent. Normally I don't like the way Rust-Oleum sprays, but this primer came out nice. I ended up actually using it to touch up a couple areas the other primers didn't reach fully. This primer is very sandy. I mean, it is sandable primer, so tomorrow before I paint the base and the clear, I'm going to sand it down and, you know, make it extra fine and extra smooth, and then go through this whole covering process again, because unfortunately I have to drive this car home, so all this has to come off and I have to drive it home, and then tomorrow I have to come back and rewrap the whole thing, so that's fun. But yeah, the primer is good. I'll just take this tape and this plastic off and let it sit for a little bit more, and then we'll be done for today. When I took this off, because the paint got up inside, but this paint is extremely dusty and it has just that kind of, you know, application to it, so it comes off with your finger right away. The whole entire windshield has it, but I'll wipe it down and then call it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed me, you know, priming the Civic today. Tomorrow, if all goes well, this will have a fresh new coat of base and clear, and it should hopefully look the rest of the car. Fingers crossed on that. But yes, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll have more videos coming, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, because I will be filming this and this tomorrow. Peace out.
Something to try and make you feel at home.